This works for me. If you are jumping on, you're probably watching the replay. I'm really excited about what I'm launching today. As you're jumping on, say, hey, let me know if you can hear me because I was having a little bit of technical difficulties earlier. So Danielle, you can hear me okay? I don't want to just like go on and on without you guys not being able to hear me okay. So I just want you guys to be able to hear me okay, and then we can get started. Do all these thumbs up mean that you guys can hear me okay? Yes, good? Yes, we can. Okay, awesome. I don't want the whole like beginning of this to be like a mess, but I am so excited for today, you guys. My guest is already here and watching. Avery, I'm gonna have you hang tight for just 1 second, and I'm gonna kind of introduce who I am and what exactly it is I'm doing here. So I'm so excited for this little thing that I'm doing. I want to bring on different types of people who have used hemp CBD products and let them talk about their experiences, because I feel like for my whole entire year-long journey, you guys have just really heard my testimony or heard my story and how it's benefited my life. And I really want a chance to expose you guys to the other ways that CBD can help people, because there's so many ways that CBD can help you, because hemp derived CBD works directly with I know, ignore my nails. It is what it is. I'll get there eventually. Hemp-derived CBD works so well for so many different things with so many different people, because it works directly with your own body's endocannabinoid system. So let's talk about that a little bit. Scientists and researchers discovered that every single human being in the world has what is called an endocannabinoid system. It is in our bodies from the minute we're born until we are dead. What does this mean for us? So many people are like, okay, well, what the heck is an endocannabinoid system and why do I care about it? Well, just like we have a nervous system and an organ system and all of the other, the musculoskeletal system within our bodies, they all serve a purpose and a function. And so does the endocannabinoid system. So the endocannabinoid system regulates many different things. I can't name any diseases or anything like that, so I'm not going to. But what I would encourage you to do actually is just go ahead and Google CBD benefits, and it's gonna bring up all of that entire huge list. But just know that your body has receptors, the CB1 and the CB2, that are designed to take CBD from the minute you are born until the minute that you die, every single person. So let's talk about that. Did you know that hemp and marijuana are actually cousins of the same species called cannabis? So when we talk about cannabis as a whole, we're talking about a species of plant. And cannabis has the marijuana strain, and it also has the hemp strain. So what is the difference between the two plants? They look very similar, but they're not. So they're similar in the way that a man and a woman are similar. We are both human beings. We share similar features like skin and eyebrows and hair and mouths, but we don't share the exact same features, where men are taller and sometimes more muscular and women are more petite and small. The same goes for the species of cannabis plant, hemp and marijuana. While they are very similar looking, they're actually very, very different. So one grows tall and skinny, okay, and the other grows short and fat and round. And that is really how you can determine the difference between a hemp plant and a marijuana plant. Now, that's the physical differences that you can tell, but what are the therapeutic differences between the two? So marijuana contains a high amount of THC. THC is that compound that is going to get you high. It has psychoactive effects and it will get you high. It is not legal in all 50 states. It is not legal for people under the age of 21 to consume. It is not legal to use and drive. It is not legal to go to work and consume this product. Marijuana is not legal in all 50 states. Where it does have its own therapeutic benefits, it is still psychoactive and actually has those properties that do get you high. So it is regulated very similarly in the way that alcohol is regulated. Now its cousin, again, its cousin, not the same plant, its cousin, hemp, is different in the way that it is actually very high in the therapeutic compound CBD or cannabidiol, and very low in the amount of THC. And when I say very low, I'm talking what we consider a trace amount, 0.03% or less. This is considered a therapeutic amount that has no high and no psychoactive effects. In fact, hemp-derived CBD, our full spectrum hemp-derived CBD that contains 0.03% THC, includes over 80 other cannabinoids. Why is that important and why does that matter to you? CBD, when used alone, has incredible therapeutic benefits. However, the hemp plant contains many, 80 to 100 other cannabinoids that also have therapeutic benefits as well. So here's the really great thing. When you're using a full spectrum hemp-derived CBD that is no high and has no psychoactive effects, you're not just getting CBD. You're actually getting all of the other cannabinoids that also have their own therapeutic effects, and they're working simultaneously to create what is called an entourage effect. And then is when you get that sigh of relief. You're gonna notice your body like losing it. It's going to, if you were tense in any way from your head to your toes, you're gonna feel that melt away. If you were shaking because you're like me and you have a little bit of struggles around big crowds or things like that, and you might get a little bit of that racing heart or shaky hands, or you get kind of sweaty, you're gonna notice those things start disappearing. So today, you guys, we're talking about hemp-derived CBD that has no high, no psychoactive effects. It is legal in all 50 states. And I do want to share other people's testimonies about that. So with that being said, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and bring on my guest, Avery. Let me just find her really quickly. I don't want to tag you. How do I do this? Avery, add. Here we go. Her story and how this has helped her and benefited her. Hi, I'm so excited that you're here.
Yeah, I'm super excited too. I've been looking forward to this all day to come on and talk about my experience with you.
So with that being said, go ahead. I already said your name, but go ahead and just tell us who you are, how old you are, and kind of like what you do. Give a little background about yourself.
Awesome. Oh, well, I am 20 years old. I'll be 21 next month. Super excited about that. I currently work at a bank. I just recently moved to Kansas to be with my boyfriend. He's in the Army. So I
Kansas,
kind
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, I moved all the way from Idaho here by myself. It was very
What?
nerve-wracking. Yeah, it was a bit insane. So my life has kind of changed completely in the last couple of months.
Yes.
So I'm learning a lot about independence, and it's
Well,
a lot of
hey, that's
fun.
really awesome because I'll tell you, one of the greatest things that I ever did when I was about 19 or 20 years old is I moved away from home. And I'm not talking like down the road. I literally moved across the country and I kind of spent the better half of my 20s as an adult just kind of figuring out life for myself. And I would literally recommend that to any and everybody. I think it's
Oh yeah,
incredible.
I
So,
completely agree.
I'm so excited to hear that. I can't wait to hear how you like Kansas and kind of watch like you get to experience that because Kansas is a whole lot different than Idaho, girl.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's jump right into it. Avery, how did you find CBD products?
So how I found CBD products, it kind of started a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
probably junior or senior year of high school. Um, I kind of dealt with a lot of nervousness. I wasn't great around people. I didn't have great social skills. I didn't really care to be around people either. In grocery stores, I would kind of freak out, get very agitated.
Yes.
I couldn't handle it. My dad saw me kind of at the worst part of my life. I was sad. I locked myself in my room, and he told me, I was taking medications, and they were having adverse side effects too. And he told me, he's done some research on CBD, and
Mm-hmm.
that it does wonders. So I tried some, and it tasted so nasty. It just wasn't, I don't know what brand it was, but it was not good. So then, after that, after I tried CBD, I went into, I tried, marijuana and, a
Yeah.
bunch of other different, you know, different hemp and CBD,
Yeah.
marijuana, all of that.
Cannabis.
And I noticed there was some differences. I definitely had some issues with, the THC, the psychoactive effects. Sometimes it would send me kind of down a worse hole than I was
Yes.
before.
So can I
That
interrupt you for
was,
just 1 second and
yeah,
speak
of
to that a
course.
little bit? For those of
Yeah.
you guys who are watching, the symptoms or the things that Avery was experiencing, um, a little bit like agitation being in public or around people, or the nervousness, or that just like unnerving feeling being around a lot of people. THC actually, when I have a lot of people who are like, I'm using marijuana and it just doesn't help those feelings for me. Well, THC actually does the opposite of CBD with those types of symptoms. In fact, it heightens those symptoms. So if you are the type of person who struggles with that pit in your stomach where you get nervous around other people, or you're nervous to speak on stage, or you're nervous to be around a large group of people, THC is actually going to enhance that nervousness and that panicky feeling. And I would not recommend marijuana for somebody who is struggling with those symptoms. But the greatest thing is that CBD has the opposite effect because it doesn't have that high. It has no psychoactive um, to that. So I did kind of want to talk about like why marijuana would not be
Mm.
suited towards those feelings at all, and why some people are like, I'm having edibles and it's just not doing anything for me. And I'm like, girl, I know you don't need THC.
No, yeah, it's definitely made some situations a lot worse for me
Yes.
when, I heard it was supposed to make, these situations better.
Yes. And that's kind of where I feel like people can get marijuana derived CBD and hemp derived CBD very confused, because there is a difference. There is a product made of both of them. And the marijuana derived CBD, while it is still CBD, it's THC to CBD ratio actually kind of tips the scale like that. So the THC is really high and the CBD is really low. And so a marijuana derived CBD could actually send you into more of that panicky feeling than a hemp derived CBD. And it is very important to have somebody around you that is educated enough to help you figure out the products that you need for what you're experiencing. So we kind of already touched a bit about you trying cannabis products prior to finding the product that you're using now, and you have, but I want to hear about your experience using CBD so far.
Wow. Well, it's been absolutely amazing, I'll tell you that. I started taking it a little over 2 weeks ago, and I kind of noticed, the first, second night that, things were a little bit different. I couldn't tell exactly what it was. I felt
Yeah.
calmer. I could lay in bed and I noticed my mind wasn't racing at night, which usually it
Yes.
does. And I kind of was freaked out. I like hit Joey and I was like, I'm not freaking out. And I was freaking out about not freaking out, which was awesome. And then, about a week later, I noticed I was happy. I would come home from work, which I'm not a huge fan of my job, and I'm just upset and I'm sad all the time. But I noticed I was easier. I was not sad. I wasn't upset. I was in a good mood and I could handle, working with customers.
Yes.
And I was in my kitchen and I was like, I've never felt this good in my entire life. Like, I don't remember the
Wow.
last time I felt happy. I cried because I'm like, this is such a relief to me. It was
That
amazing.
seriously just like makes my heart just like
It's so awesome to hear the ways that people experience this product because, you and I, where we do kind of struggle with some of the similar symptoms, not everybody struggles with the same things. Or like for instance, you talked about how, your mind kind of races at night. I didn't necessarily have that problem. I don't really have a racing mind, but for me, the first thing I noticed in the first week was I didn't wake up. The first time I woke up, it was like 6 in the
Yeah.
morning, and I was like, I slept through the night. What? It's 6 in the morning? I was like freaking out because that
Yeah.
had never happened to me. I literally was so used to waking up hour after hour after hour that I woke up and I like looked at the clock expecting to be 2, 3 in the morning, and it was 6. And I
Yes.
died on the inside.
I'm like actually getting real sleep for once in my life, and it's so nice.
Do you feel refreshed in the morning versus prior to taking it?
I do, and all day, my energy kind of maintains a level. I don't feel like I have crashes. I'm not drinking caffeine anymore, which I used to go to Starbucks and get like a cold brew every morning before work, which would make, my nervousness, more amplified. And I don't even, care to get a coffee in the mornings either. Like I feel fine.
So you were getting coffee for that kind of waking up, that
Yeah.
energy that you were not having, and then taking the CBD, you have found that you don't have to find that cup of coffee anymore. That's freaking
No,
cool. My mom said the same thing. She was like, what is in this? I'm cleaning all of my house right now. And I'm like, some
yeah.
people experience like this big burst of energy.
It's insane in my work performance. Being at work, I feel like I'm performing a lot better. I'm getting things done. I'm understanding things more. I'm sucking in information better than I have before too.
Wow.
So
That's
that,
really cool.
yeah, I don't know what it, how it works like that, but I just
It's
feel like I'm
helping
more
you focus.
focused.
That's what it sounds like. It
Yeah.
helps you focus. It helps bring that mental clarity back. Um, we talked a little bit about some things that you were struggling with prior to finding CBD oil, and one of those things were, not necessarily being able to be like in a store full of like crowded people. How are you doing going to like the grocery store right now?
I went to the club like a
Oh,
week ago,
stop
and
it.
I had the best time in my life. I could talk to people, go up to people, dance with people I didn't know, and I would never have been able to do that before. Not only going into the grocery store, I went to the club.
Oh, well, screw the grocery store and the people at the grocery store. We are
Yeah,
mixing and mingling now. That's
yeah.
huge. Somebody asked, is it mixed with caffeine? Absolutely not. In fact, the hemp-derived CBD product that we are talking about very specifically is a pure product. So it has no additives, no synthetics, and no fillers. You're getting a pure product straight from the plant. So which product are you using? Speaking of that, which product are you using, like milligram wise, and how long have you been using it? I think you mentioned that, but just in case.
I'm using the 500 milligram bottle natural. I actually like the taste. You know how I said I couldn't stand the flavor of the other one? This one actually tastes really nice, and I kind of like the oily texture of it. I don't know why. Um, it tastes super good, and I've been using it, for about a little over 2 weeks now. I'm up to 10 drops morning and night, and then sometimes I take it during the day as
I
well. And
microdose as well. I find that with CBD, one of the biggest things that I found is that sometimes some people do really, really well just taking 2 doses twice a day. Other people who have autoimmune illnesses or things like that, I'm not going to name names, but anybody who has an illness where your body is attacking itself kind of through the regular day, I would recommend microdosing, which means taking smaller dose throughout the whole day to kind of sustain your body's cannabinoid system, versus larger doses just once a day. So there are options for you if you do find, not necessarily just you, Avery, but anybody who's listening, if you are finding that, you're taking one big dose in the morning and it's just like not cutting it, I would actually recommend cutting that huge dose and kind of breaking it up throughout the day. I take mine probably like every 3 hours, kind of like a snack, like I'm snacking. I just take a couple of drops, and it helps sustain my body's endocannabinoid system. So there's no drop or anything like that. So we'll kind of we'll wrap this up just a little bit, because I'm so grateful for you to come and share this with me. But with that being said, Avery, would you recommend CBD to your friends or family, or recommend them trying it and seeing if it would benefit them?
Oh, 110%. I think, if you do struggle with, your heart racing and, freaking out in a store, you can't sleep, I think it's definitely beneficial for everyone to at least try once, and just see if it works for you. So like it did for me.
So something really cool about this and just giving it a shot is the company that I am affiliated with, and actually Avery now is affiliated with as well. So if you caught this on Avery's timeline, or you are Avery's friend, or you're swinging by her Facebook and you see this video, please reach out to her. And I want you to ask her how, CBD could potentially benefit you. But with that being said, what we are affiliated with has a 60-day empty bottle money back guarantee. I do not know one single place, dispensary, health food store, any place where you can go and grab a bottle of CBD, use the entire bottle, and return it if it doesn't work for you. But we are offering you that. Our company does offer that. You can use that whole bottle for 60 freaking days and get a good idea about how this product works for you. And if it doesn't, if you have no results, which that won't happen, but if it doesn't, you can return it. So you guys, if you know somebody who could use CBD, you do. Everybody could use CBD. Recommend them, share this video out, tag your friends. If you are Avery's friends, please reach out to her and see if, CBD can benefit you and your lifestyle in any way. And you guys, thanks for hopping on the CannaFiles. I will see you on part 2. Thank you, Avery.
Yep, thank you.
Good night.